A lot is happening at Newcastle United, despite Bruno Guimaraes currently playing Spider-Man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Papai, ele assustou mais.
É o papai? É o papai?
From a Sky Sports reporter dropping a massive bombshell on Newcastle's potential move for Serge Gnabry, to discussing the recent exciting update regarding Newcastle United's St. James's Park expansion, to revealing Newcastle's secret transfer coup in Paris, to uncovering Eddie Howe's transfer decision that may change Newcastle's transfer strategy. Join us as we uncover the latest Newcastle United news. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you won't want to miss a single moment of this incredible journey.
Let's go.
Starting off, Serge Gnabry's remarkable rise to stardom at Bayern Munich has not gone unnoticed, with the German international attracting interest from several top clubs across Europe. Among the suitors, Newcastle United emerged as a serious contender, hoping to secure the services of the versatile wide attacker to bolster their attacking options. The Magpies' interest in Gnabry aligned with their strategic objectives in the transfer market, as they sought to find a dynamic wide player, particularly with the potential departure of Miguel Almiron. Gnabry, with his proven track record and ability to excel in multiple positions, seemed like an ideal fit for Newcastle's ambitious plans. However, the deal that Newcastle had hoped to complete has now fallen through, as Florian Plettenberg, a respected German Sky Sports reporter, has reported that Gnabry has no interest in joining the Tyneside outfit. Despite Newcastle's interest and Bayern Munich's openness to selling the 29-year-old this summer, the player himself has firmly rejected the opportunity to move to Newcastle United. This development undoubtedly represents a major blow for the Magpies, who had hoped to secure Gnabry's services to strengthen their squad ahead of the new season. The refusal from the player himself forces Newcastle to quickly reassess their transfer strategy, as they must now explore alternative options to bolster their attacking line. For Newcastle, the focus must shift swiftly. The club's ambitions are clear. They aim to solidify their place among the Premier League's elite. Missing out on Gnabry is a setback, but it is not the end of the road. The transfer window still offers numerous possibilities, and the Magpies have the resources to attract top talent. Identifying a suitable alternative to Gnabry is now the priority for Newcastle's recruitment team. The club must pivot quickly to ensure they do not miss out on other potential targets that could help them achieve their goals for the upcoming campaign. Serge Gnabry's decision to turn down Newcastle United is a significant twist in this summer's transfer narrative. While it presents a challenge for the Magpies, it also underscores the competitive nature of the transfer market. Newcastle must now refocus and identify new targets to bolster their squad and continue their ascent in the Premier League. Talking about identifying alternative targets, according to recent reports, Newcastle United have made a formal inquiry to Paris Saint-Germain regarding the 23-year-old forward Kang-In Lee in the past 24 hours. The Magpies' new sporting director, Paul Mitchell, has identified Lee as his dream target for the current transfer window. The young South Korean, who in 2019 became the youngest ever professional footballer from his country to play in Europe, is a versatile player comfortable on both wings and in central midfield. This ability to play multiple positions appeals massively to Newcastle's head coach, Eddie Howe, as well as Mitchell. Newcastle's feeling is that a fee of around £40 million will be enough to secure Lee's services, with the player himself keen on a permanent move away from the French champions to acquire regular first-team football. Interestingly, recent news from Paris Saint-Germain suggests that Kang-In Lee was not present at the club's morning training session. This development has fueled speculation that a move to Newcastle could be in the works. The Magpies' pursuit of Kang-In Lee is an intriguing one, as they look to strengthen their squad and continue their ascent in the Premier League. The 23-year-old's versatility, coupled with his potential, make him an appealing target for Newcastle, and a successful transfer could prove to be a significant coup for the club. As the situation continues to unfold, fans will be eagerly waiting to see if Newcastle can secure the services of Kang-In Lee and add another talented player to their rapidly improving squad. Then also on the same issue of the right-wing position, according to the latest developments reported by Sport Witness, Juventus are hoping for a strong push from Newcastle United to secure the signing of Federico Chiesa. The Italian club is growing increasingly concerned about the 26-year-old forward's future as he enters the final year of his contract. Chiesa, who has established himself as a key player for both Juventus and the Italian national team, is currently living a relatively calm life off the pitch. He recently got married to his partner Lucia, and his performance at Euro 2024 was not as influential as it was in the previous tournament, where he played a crucial role in Italy's triumph. This laid-back approach from Chiesa has set off alarm bells at Juventus, who are now hoping for a lunge from the likes of Newcastle United or Bayern Munich to secure the player's services. Both clubs are said to have good relations with Chiesa's entourage, although the specific reasons for this are not disclosed. Corriere dello Sport, via Sport Witness, reports that Juventus are currently demanding a fee of €20 million for Chiesa, but they could be forced to lower their asking price in the coming weeks. This suggests that Juventus may be willing to accept a bargain deal, as they seek to avoid losing the player on a free transfer next summer. Newcastle United's interest in Chiesa could be fueled by their desire to bolster their attacking options and continue their push for Champions League qualification. The Magpies have been active in the transfer market this summer, and the opportunity to secure a talented player like Chiesa at a potentially discounted price may be an attractive proposition. The report indicates that both Newcastle United and Bayern Munich have good relationships with Chiesa's entourage, with Newcastle recently had held talks with the player's representatives, which could give them an advantage in the pursuit of the player. As the summer transfer window progresses, the situation surrounding Federico Chiesa's future is likely to evolve further. Newcastle United and other interested clubs will be closely monitoring the developments as they seek to capitalize on any potential bargain opportunities that may arise from Juventus's desire to secure a transfer fee for the player. Then moving on, in a clear sign of his faith in the striker's abilities, Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe is determined to keep Callum Wilson at the club this summer despite the player's uncertain future. Wilson's contract situation has been a subject of much discussion in recent months, with the 32-year-old England international entering the final year of his current deal at St James's Park. The situation has attracted interest from several clubs, including a number of teams in the lucrative Saudi Arabian Pro League, as well as Premier League rivals West Ham United. Financially, it would make logical sense for Newcastle to cash in on Wilson this summer, rather than potentially losing him for free as a free agent next year. However, Howe's unwavering stance suggests that the club's ambitions extend far beyond short-term financial gains. Despite Wilson's well-documented injury troubles, which have at times disrupted his playing time, Howe remains steadfast in his belief that the striker is one of the Premier League's leading forwards. Last season, Wilson managed to score 10 goals in just 26 appearances across all competitions, a highly impressive return given the various muscular issues that kept him on the sidelines for extended periods. Howe's appreciation for Wilson's quality and character is evident in his previous remarks about the player. "Of course I want him, Wilson, at the club next season. I'll do everything I can to make that happen. Write him off at your peril for sure because he comes back time and time again. I've managed him for a very long time now and mentality-wise I wouldn't swap him," the Newcastle manager said at the end of the previous campaign. Howe's desire to retain Wilson is not only a testament to the player's abilities, but also a reflection of the manager's long-term vision for the club. By keeping Wilson in the squad, Howe can build a cohesive and experienced attacking unit, with the added bonus of Wilson's partnership with the recently acquired Alexander Isak. The club's recent financial maneuverings, including the sales of Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minte, suggest that Newcastle are not under any immediate pressure to sell players this summer. This provides Howe with the flexibility to focus on strengthening the squad in key areas, such as a right-sided attacker and a right-sided centre-half, without the need to sacrifice one of his trusted attacking options. Howe's commitment to retaining Wilson is set to be a key point of discussion as the club's new-look executive team, led by sporting director Paul Mitchell, engages in more detailed transfer negotiations in the coming days. The manager will undoubtedly make his desire to keep the striker at St James's Park a top priority, as he seeks to build a squad capable of challenging for European places in the upcoming Premier League season. Wilson's presence in the Newcastle squad, which has travelled to Germany for a pre-season training camp, suggests that Howe's efforts to retain the player have already begun in earnest. As the Magpies prepare for their first pre-season match against Hull City next week, all eyes will be on the future of Callum Wilson and whether Howe's unwavering commitment to the striker will pay dividends in the long run. But tell me, would you want Callum Wilson to stay at Newcastle? Then in other exciting Newcastle United news, according to recent reports from the Shields Gazetta, Newcastle United are inching closer to a significant expansion of their iconic home ground, St James's Park. The club's chief executive officer, Darren Eales, has confirmed that a final feasibility study on the potential expansion is expected imminently. The initial 6-month study reportedly determined that increasing the stadium's capacity to over 60,000 was a viable option for the club. However, Eels has cautioned that the club is still awaiting the final report before taking the next steps. "We're waiting for the final report," Eels said. "I think it's imminent. It's complicated because where we are is a difficult spot in terms of building, so we want to make sure that we do that diligent process and look at all the options. That will come in, it will go to ownership, and we will also speak to the fan advisory board when we get that final report. Then we will look at what our next steps are going to be. Once the final report is received, the club will present it to the ownership and engage with the fan advisory board before deciding on the next course of action. The club's preference has been to expand the current stadium, which has been Newcastle's home since its formation in 1892. The departure of co-owners Amanda Stavely and Mehrdad Ghodussi, who were strong supporters of remaining at St. James's Park, could potentially impact the club's final decision, as the report is awaited. Stavely and Ghodussi's departure may introduce new considerations and priorities that could sway the club's plans for the stadium's future. Any construction work to expand St. James's Park will be subject to the club securing an extended leasehold, which currently expires in 2097. The club pays ground rent to Newcastle City Council as part of the existing lease agreement and would want to ensure a renewed and extended lease is in place before embarking on the expansion project. The location of St. James's Park, with its proximity to listed buildings and the Leazes conservation area, has often been seen as a significant challenge for further expansion. However, the club's recent purchase of the land at Strawberry Place, which was set to host a new Stack fan zone, has renewed hopes of expanding the Gallowgate stand in the coming years. This strategic land acquisition provides the club with more flexibility and opportunities to explore various expansion options, potentially overcoming some of the previous constraints posed by the stadium's urban location. It's worth noting that the timing of any potential expansion may be complicated by the fact that St. James's Park is set to host European Championship matches in the summer of 2028. This event will likely require the club to coordinate their expansion plans carefully to ensure the stadium is ready to host the international tournament. Additionally, a complete stadium rebuild has not been ruled out, with nearby Leazes Park previously considered as a potential alternative site. This option, while more ambitious, could offer the club a chance to create a state-of-the-art facility that meets the needs of the modern game and the club's growing ambitions. Speaking back in January while the study was in progress, Newcastle Chief Executive Darren Eales said, "St. James's Park is a great location at the heart of the community up on the hill, and if we can expand St. James's Park, then clearly that would make sense. But we have to know what's possible. That is our number one approach, and that's what our experts are doing now. We've got world leaders looking at it in terms of what is architecturally possible and what that would mean from a capacity and revenue perspective. If there's a way that we can expand St. James's Park, then all things being equal, that would be the route that we would like to take." So as the club awaits the final feasibility study, Newcastle United fans eagerly anticipate the imminent update on the future expansion of their beloved St. James's Park. The club's decision will not only shape the stadium's physical appearance, but also the match-day experience for the loyal supporters who have been the heartbeat of the club for generations. Then finally, in some game-changing news, if you would want to know about Newcastle's massive potential move to sign lead star, click the video link on screen now.